Hello, everybody. For the next 5 minutes, I will present data that suggests that we should all add some kind of brief explanation to preprints, and I will explain why now. Of course, this is an important topic because preprints are becoming much more popular over the time. Each year, more and more preprints are published, and the most common concern about preprints is that they are not peer-reviewed, and peer review is, however, the established quality control process. And as preprints are publicly available, many people are worried that they reach non-scientists who then cannot differentiate those preprints from the peer-reviewed literature. And this is something that happened a lot during COVID-19 crisis. So, for example, now retracted preprint supported beliefs that COVID-19 is a bioweapon. But those are just anecdotes, and we wanted to see if this concern is really warranted. Can non-scientists really not differentiate between preprints and peer-reviewed literature? And if this is the case, maybe then a short explanation could help them to do so. In study 1 and 2, run in Germany and the United States, we ask participants to rate the credibility of 5 research findings. For example, they read a short description about the finding analytical thinking reduces religious beliefs. We told them that all of those findings were either published in preprints or in peer-reviewed articles. And importantly, we gave them no explanation of peer review and preprints. In this situation, which we believe is very common, non-scientists did not differentiate between preprints and peer-reviewed articles. They saw those findings as equally credible, and we observed this in Germany and in a much larger sample in the United States. So we thought this might be a problem. Non-scientists seem really not to differentiate between preprints and peer-reviewed literature, which is the top concern about preprints. And we thought, okay, maybe this will lead people to stop publishing preprints. So we hoped there would be a solution. And what we tested is if we can add some kind of consumer protection information to preprints. And this is also an approach that some preprint servers are trying right now. And we provided such a short explanation, which explains that peer review is a standard procedure and serves as a quality control process. Participants then judged the credibility of research findings, as in the previous studies, which were either published in preprints or in peer-reviewed articles. We had a within subjects design in study 3 and a between subjects design in study 4 and 5. And in study 5, we even tested a super short explanation, just a really small text box, which we could add to basically any preprint to see if this explanation would also have an effect. And indeed, in a within subjects design, so if people could directly compare preprints and peer-reviewed articles after getting an explanation, people showed a really strong preference for peer-reviewed articles and against preprints in terms of credibility. In the between subjects design, this difference is not so strong, which is not too surprising, but still our explanation had a rather strong effect. It allowed non-scientists now to differentiate between preprints and peer-reviewed articles. And this is exactly the same design as in study 1 and 2, with the only difference that this time people got an explanation and now they start to differentiate. In study 5, this is where we tested this very short explanation. We see that, again, people now can differentiate the two formats, even though the effect size is now a little bit smaller. So to sum this up, without an explanation, non-scientists were not able to differentiate, or at least did not differentiate the two formats. Yet when we gave a very short explanation, this allowed non-scientists to differentiate. They started seeing preprints as much less credible. And so we would advocate for adding such an explanation, because it allows us as research community to harvest the many benefits of preprints, such as rapid communication, open access, and so on. But at the same time, it reduces one of the most important concerns, namely about public misunderstanding. I thank you for your attention. If you want to use our explanation, I show it here. This is the small text box which we used in study 5. You can also contact me via email or on Twitter. And you can read everything in our preprint in more detail and check our data materials and pre-registrations on the Open Science Framework. So yeah, thanks again for your attention.